Imagine walking through the dense forests of Ice Age Europe, nearly 1 million years ago. The air is cold, the terrain rugged, and survival is a daily struggle. Suddenly, you come across a footprint, not from a Neanderthal, not from a modern human, but from a species long forgotten by time. Homo Antecessor. Who were these early humans? How did they live, and why did they disappear? Could they be the missing link between modern humans and our archaic cousins? Let's step into a prehistoric world and explore the life, mystery, and legacy of one of humanity's most elusive ancestors, a being both hauntingly familiar and unfathomably ancient. In 1994, deep within the karst caves of Atapuerca, Spain, archaeologists made a discovery that would shake the foundations of paleoanthropology. As they sifted through layers of sediment dating back over 800,000 years, they unearthed the fossilized remains of a young individual with an unusually modern-looking face. This wasn't a Neanderthal, it wasn't a Homo erectus, it was something altogether different, something eerily familiar. The species was christened Homo Antecessor, the pioneer man, and for good reason. These fossils, remarkably preserved in the cave known as Grandolina, offered the oldest known evidence of human presence in Western Europe at the time. But even more astonishing were the facial features. A flatter face, prominent cheekbones, and a projecting nose, traits not usually associated with such an ancient species. It was as if someone had transported a modern human back in time. This discovery wasn't just another addition to the fossil record. It sparked a fierce debate within the scientific community. Were these remains simply a variant of Homo erectus? Or had researchers stumbled upon a genuine transitional species, one that could bridge the evolutionary gap between early archaic humans and ourselves? The questions piled up. Did Homo Antecessor have the cognitive abilities to make tools harness fire and form complex social groups? Was this young individual part of a thriving population or an isolated anomaly? Could this species have given rise to not just one, but multiple branches of humanity? While some critics dismissed the find as overhyped, further analysis only deepened the mystery. These weren't just bones. They were breadcrumbs on a trail winding through deep time, beckoning us to follow. To understand Homo Antecessor, we have to step into their world. A harsh, volatile Europe on the brink of the Pleistocene epoch. This was a land of extremes, towering glaciers, unpredictable climate shifts, and predators the size of nightmares. Saber-toothed cats, giant hyenas, and bears were all part of the everyday threat. Yet somehow, Homo Antecessor managed not just to survive, but to thrive. Stone tools found at the site, hand axes, scrapers, and flakes, reveal a population adept at manipulating their environment. These tools weren't just functional. They were evidence of planning, precision, and shared knowledge passed down through generations. The wear on their surfaces suggests butchering meat, scraping hides, and perhaps even preparing weapons. It paints a picture of a people in constant motion, hunting, scavenging, and defending territory. But it gets darker. Some of the bones found at Atapuerca bore unmistakable signs of cut marks, fractures, and intentional defleshing. The implication? Cannibalism. Whether ritualistic, survival-based, or even cultural, it's a chilling reminder that the struggle for life was relentless. In a world where food was scarce and danger ever present, even fellow humans could become a last resort. Yet there are signs of progress too. Burned wood fragments hint at the use of fire. Not just a technological milestone, but a social one. Fire meant warmth, cooked food, protection from predators, and a center for gathering and bonding. It meant a step closer to complex society. Some anthropologists even suggest that these early humans hunted cooperatively and shared responsibilities within groups, pointing to emerging language or symbolic communication. Homo Antecessor were not mindless brutes. They were thinkers, doers, and survivors, perhaps even dreamers by firelight. The central mystery of Homo Antecessor is their place in our family tree. Were they merely a side branch, an evolutionary experiment that fizzled out? Or were they something more, a vital bridge between the primitive past and the complex present? Some paleoanthropologists believe Homo Antecessor evolved from Homo erectus and later gave rise to Homo heidelbergensis, which in turn may have split into Neanderthals and modern humans. If that's true, then Homo Antecessor sits right at the evolutionary crossroads of Europe, a critical hinge on the door to modern humanity. But without DNA, certainty is elusive. The fossil record remains tantalizingly incomplete. However, in a groundbreaking development in 2020, researchers were able to extract ancient proteins from Homo Antecessor teeth. While not as informative as DNA, these proteins carried enough evolutionary information to show that Homo Antecessor is closely related to the last common ancestor of both Neanderthals and Homo sapiens. That single insight opened new avenues. It means we can begin mapping our ancestry using molecular data from even older specimens, unlocking chapters once thought permanently sealed. Still, the question remains: what happened to them? Did they interbreed with other hominins? Did they succumb to climate shifts, competition, or catastrophe? The silence of their disappearance is almost as haunting as their fossilized remains. Homo Antecessor may not have left behind art, myths, or architecture, but their legacy is etched into the very soil of Europe. Their tools whisper of innovation. Their bones speak of resilience. Their fire ashes smolder with the first flickers of civilization. They were pioneers, not just geographically, but psychologically. They dared to step into new lands, to experiment with new behaviors, and to pass their knowledge forward. They existed at a time when the odds of survival were slim and the rewards uncertain, yet they endured. We may never know if Homo Antecessor directly contributed to our DNA, but their presence reminds us that evolution is not a ladder. It's a web of trial and error, of branches reaching in all directions. They were not failures. They were a critical part of the great experiment that led to us. And maybe, just maybe, we still carry echoes of their spirit. If you've stayed with us this far, you're clearly fascinated by the untold stories of our past. But did you know that 99% of our viewers aren't subscribed? If you want to keep diving into humanity's most mind-bending mysteries, hit that subscribe button. Join us as we uncover the forgotten pages of our history and meet the ancestors who dared to dream first.